for coming out tonight. Well, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but we just had a media event out at Cobblestone, where Reynolds Kramer from Fairway presented us with that $2 million check over there, that very big check. I tried to cash that, but they wouldn't cash it. No, it was very nice event. Reynolds had a lot of good things to say about this facility and making it happen. So that's good for us. Very good. And we couldn't be happier about that $2 million donation. That's gigantic. It's the largest donation Fairway's ever made, ever. So we're pretty pleased with that. And there's more to come. We're working on it pretty diligently behind the scenes here. Ames EDC is working on it. Greg's working on it. The S committee is working on it. The Wellness Center committee is working on it. So there's more to come for sure. So I wanted to get that out of the way because that's really important. Shop at Fairway. So, we have some exciting changes. Some of the comments and concerns about the design we took into consideration, and Kurt made some adjustments here. And I think we're going to let him start out and kind of run through them for you so that you can see what's in store for us.
Welcome for those of you who haven't attended. I am Kirk Moe, I'm the Senior Project Manager for Novo, and will lead the efforts on the back end as far as design in conjunction with Studio Melee, who's the architects on the project. As Terry's mentioned, we picked up some of the comments, and I do want to say that the floor plan is conceptual, right? So walls can move, fixture counts are going to change as we determine occupants, right? And loading. That said, we picked up one of the comments were the showers, right? So there will be showers within the facility. We anticipate that there will be showers within the space of the gym, not only exterior of the family or restrooms, but also within those two spaces. So we've got showers in here. You can walk in the room, walk in the family assist restroom, take a shower, change, and do those things. And then outside of this, we're anticipating potentially to have showers on the exterior on this wall. That way kids or something, they just want to rinse off and go, they've got the ability to do that. It was also mentioned, hey, the locker rooms really weren't detailed out there. Again, we didn't really want to get specific with, lockers in the rooms, but we did add it just for content. So you can see now that the men's and women's locker rooms, they have lockers, they have space for restrooms, showers. You can see the sinks here now. So just to kind of indicate, hey, these are our actually locker rooms. These are some of the amenities that could be included, right? There again, fixture counts will be determined through design. Upstairs, we had rooms up there. Go ahead.
Kurt, down that bottom floor too, somebody mentioned, a question came up concerning concessions, and there is a concession stand that's always been there.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a concession area for tournaments and stuff like that.
Yep.
That space has always been in there. It just wasn't designated.
Yeah.
So,
And then
now
and there again, it's concessions. So it's catering things in, crock pots, called the local pizza joint. They bring in their food, roosters, and if they've got burgers or something, they can cater those in as well. Another aspect is we add or change. We added a wall here. It looks open-ended because the track is carried through here. This is just to add a little bit of sound continuation and separation between the gymnasium and the lobby space. The anticipation here, as you look at the 3D renderings, all the structure for the track that's overhead is supported off the ground currently. Okay. So we'll modify that and work through that design here, hopefully after this passes. Upstairs, we just added the restrooms. We had a block there, it didn't say restrooms, so we just said, hey, there will be 2 restrooms up top, upstairs. And that's what we've changed so far. We did come out with a video, a virtual tour, so I can show that now. We'll take questions afterwards. Just a nice view of the entry, cascading staircase, the lobby, reception desk there. There is a doorway to your left going into the party room that's not represented on this. There again, the glazing, it's not probably going to be glazing, but it gives you an intimate view within the office space. There you see the structural members for the track above, kind of a view of the space there on second floor. There again, we didn't add that wall in here. It takes a little bit of time to get that added, so it will be there. The number of machines doesn't represent the actual number that we'll have upstairs. So they're just placeholders, so keep that in mind. And the space looks a little small on the fly-through, but there again, the space right here we're looking at is 22 by 50 foot long. So that's a very huge space. Overlooks the lobby, which is pretty cool. Staircase down. There again, glazing's down at the pools just to be able to have that view within the space. Hallway, you'd be able to go to the right into the change rooms. You got your hot tub, waiting pool, your main pool there. View into the gym from the pool, which would be nice. Some natural daylight. You're looking back at the party room. This is the north side along 7th, view of the back to the east.
There's been some misunderstanding or miscommunications or misinformation, whichever you want to call it. The pool size is 34 by 75. Okay. So that takes the ramp out of the equation. 4 foot is part of the ramp. Okay. The actual pool is 30 by 75. That was the exact, well, actually, it's a little bit bigger than Y. The Y was 30 by 73. So it's just a little bit longer, okay? So when you see that stuff, know that that's not true, okay? That pool is the same size as the Y, all right?
Another aspect of that is keep in mind that as we go through the design, we're going to better determine that space, move things around. If it shrinks a little bit, it'll shrink. If it has to grow or move around to accommodate circulation, we'll do that through the design phase. So really what you're looking at is just placeholders for that space, right? So always keep that in mind.
Okay. And like you said upstairs, people were saying there's a lot of wasted space. No, there's not. It'll get full.
Yeah.
Do you have any wasted space at your house? It'll fill up with equipment and other things, tables and chairs. As you walk into that front entryway and you walk down towards the gym, on the right hand side, there was a coffee bar, and that's where the social center will go. That wall actually helped that they added in the gym to kind of isolate that. But that's where that social center will be. There should be enough room there for 7 of the big round tables and chairs. So that's a pretty good sized area. Okay. Yeah, right there.
With that, any questions from you guys, I guess? Yes.
In the gym space, I was curious about the area inside, how you accommodate if you do have tournaments and stuff, any spectators.
Yeah, so we address that. So what you're seeing here is underneath the track, you've got about 17'6". And the reason why we've got the sports, dropping down to the ground level, and then there's kind of a net there. That's what spectators can stand there, they can yell through the netting, they can have a visual. There's also area around, so there's enough room around the actual courts here to stand. And
Actually, we can put a row of chairs in there.
you can. We've got enough room for the row of chairs around, and then also you can view from second floor. There's a ton of standing room here in the cardio area. You'll be able to stand along here. Obviously, we'll have to take a look at structural loading and then occupant loads of the second floor, but yeah, there's plenty of space there. I tell the story behind the scenes, but we've got a 10-year-old that plays basketball in the morning, and a lot of the gymnasiums we play in, that's a major issue.
That's right.
Yeah, a major issue. Yeah. So we're addressing those concerns and those issues with this design. Yep.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah, thank you. Yes,
Just
sir.
go back to the phone for just a quick question. So we have individuals and or we have patients that want to get into the big pool. And I noticed on the south side, there's like 3 steps.
Well, yeah, there's a cascading stairwell there, but there's also zero entry off the.
So you can get to the big pool over by the zero entry.
Yep, exactly.
So you can get into the big pool, never taking a step.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we were pretty painstaking when we did the ADA step
Yeah.
to make sure everything was really accessible.
Yep. Those things will be considered obviously going through the sides.
Because I've been contacted by several parents that have special needs kids and stuff like that. And we'll, in all likelihood, as part of our soft costs, we'll have a couple of wheelchairs that we'll buy that are submersible. And we go into the water, so.
What we did at the Y, if they couldn't do steps, then we had
Oh,
a chair and a lawyer to pivot chair.
Yeah.
You do zero entry.
And but that's always an option, Tony, to do that. They have some pretty fancy ones now that actually are attached to the side of the pool that have a conveyor and they swivel around.
Yep.
And they can lower them down in there. And if push came to shove and we wanted to expand the pool and it fell within the budget, we could actually put 2 of those in there and then expand the pool by 4 foot. So we have some options. When we get to that design phase, we'll have several more of these meetings and you can come and give input and stuff like that before we put together the final. So.
I just want to make sure people know they can get in that.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, we were, and even the hot tub itself is zero. There's a ramp down in that, you can walk down into it.
Yeah, so you can kind of get a view of that ramp right there.
I wanted that for me.
So that's the handrail.
Any other questions on the design? Any other concerns? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my first meeting, but I thought I read somewhere that there were going to be batting cages.
Yes.
Where might those go?
Those will be in the gym. They'll drop down to the ceiling like it's similar to the middle school.
How many?
Right now we're planning 2. I'd like to see 4. It's kind of budget thing.
Sure.
And when we go into fundraising, and we'll do that later on, once the bond issue passes, but fundraising, we can get sponsors for that kind of stuff, help us with the cost. But I'd like to put 4 in.
I'd love to.
Yeah, there's a big need for it. My son pitches, does a pitching coach.
I coach high school, so
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure you want it. We'll try to get it.
is there room for expansion, like down the road? I know we're trying to get this project going, right?
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking long-term.
Yes.
Is there?
Yeah,
expansion?
I mean, we could buy the property directly behind it. The property directly to the south, there's a that old garage in there. And that's on the radar. Could happen depending on how much money there is.
Sure.
I mean, that could happen, so, but there is that pot, we could go that way. Yep. Oh, just another thing that we talked about at council. I talked to the mayor about it. The field out there by Necklace Center, right? Well, is capable of holding about 3 soccer fields. So we're gonna get permission to do that, and if the budget allows, or if you raise enough money, we'll put a maintenance shed out there. Build a maintenance shed, and we'll turn that into soccer fields that's associated with it. So there'll be 3 practice fields out there and 3 program fees. So it's nice and flat, and we own it, so be a good place. Anything else, design wise?
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate it. I don't want to. That's what I hate about going through. There we go. Sorry. I am not a tech person. It should pop up. There it is. No, it's not. So, there you go. Hey, there. You have my mouse. Yes, here. Did not, or no? Oh, slideshow from the beginning. Still not.
Might be a connection issue. You tell me when and I'll hit the enter button.
It's not. Yeah. Just to reiterate, our goal starting out was to raise $4 million. We're halfway there. I don't anticipate getting another 2 million. Bits and pieces of that, okay? We are working on it as we speak. We're revisiting some people that turned us down the first time, and I think they're rethinking that, so hopefully we will have some good news about that in the very near future. Okay, Justin? Okay, a couple of questions I want to address real quick. Will there be low-income assistance? Okay, the answer to that is yes. We are looking into silver sneakers. Greg has made some contacts. I've made some contacts. That's something that we can't do until after the facility is passed and underway. But we can qualify very easily for silver sneakers. And a lot of Medicare B type programs. Okay, not just necessarily silver sneakers. A lot of Medicare supplemental plans pay for that type of stuff. So we're gonna tap that resource, get qualified to accept those, and then we have an endowment fund that we're gonna start building, and we need to hit a goal of about $65,000 in order to meet that percentage that we think will be low income. The difference between us and the Y is, at the Y, if you walked in there and said, I'm low income, they took your word for it. At our facility, you're gonna have to prove it. There'll be an application process, and we'll take care of it that way. A couple other issues that were brought up about the facility was at the Y, they had a problem with a lot of people coming into that facility that weren't paying and using it. Our security system and our fob system will take care of that for the most part. So, okay, Justin, you go ahead. You go to the next one too. Here's the biggie that I get asked almost every day. What's plan B? What happens? So, you can hit the next one. The answer is, the soonest we could go to vote again would be in September. Right, that timeline is too quick, because here's what's going to happen. We lose the fairway money. The franchise fee would probably have to go back to the 3%. The price of the building would probably go up by about $1 million. So that would exceed our bonding capacity. We would have to downsize the building. It's just the facts. Okay. With inflation and stuff, the reason we have to do that is because we will miss a construction season. So it pushes it off 2 years. So instead of 24, it would open probably sometime in 26 in a different version of what we have. Okay. If it doesn't pass, if it should happen not pass in September, it's done. We have committed to the school district to bond for their road, which takes bonding, any type of bonding out of the picture for this type of facility until the year 2024. Sometime in 20. That would put us off again until about 27. The cost is going to go up exponentially. That's how important it is. And if you had been at the media gathering today, you would have heard Reynolds Kramer say exactly that, right? He's pretty emphatic about this. This has to happen now. So I'll let Tony cover that later. Okay, next, please. How can you make this happen? Vote. Go ahead. And we already did them. Oh, yeah, there's the floor plan, and I have copies of that over here. If you want to take one, grab one. That way you'll have it. You can share it with your friends. If somebody has a question, you can right here. Okay, might help. Right? Okay, go ahead next. How can you help us make this happen? Help us reach our goal. We are not going to fundraise. What's that? Careful, Boston. Help us reach our goal. We won't fundraise until after the bond issue is passed, but then we are going to go into full force. I've already warned the committee. Oh, by the way, this is Todd Rasmussen. He we added him to the committee. He's gonna help me with some of the structural stuff. He's a construction guy, so nice to have another construction guy on board. Reach our goal. We'll have some levels and stuff that you can do, but we're kind of tweaking that stuff right now. And I don't want to get too down in the weeds about goal raising funds until we get this thing on its way. But we need to reach about, go ahead, next slide, I think it says. Donate next time. There you go, $300,000. That's for soft costs. And this young lady asked me about keep buying in town. We will do as much of that as possible. Okay, that's why we want to hire locally. We want to keep everything in Boone. So that's our goal. And that's about all I really have. To share with you tonight. I wanted to share the changes that we need to design so that you know that we're listening and taking everything into consideration. Even though with our budget restraints and stuff like that, we have to take that into consideration. Oh, a couple of other items. I saw a couple of things about, we're changing the services and the facility now from what we promised earlier. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. They said, well, we took the rock wall out. The rock wall was never part of this project. It was never part of this project. It was a consideration because somebody suggested it. We looked into it, found out we couldn't do it. It was never part of the original project, ever. Childcare was never part of the original project because we ran the numbers on that, the financials on it, and we could not make it work. And I had an interesting conversation with a young lady at the Dutch Oven on Saturday about the childcare and the problems that they ran into. And so for now, that's not an option for us. That's not to say it won't happen in the future. Absolutely. But right now, so. Yes, ma'am.
Curious about the retail space that you have on the front side of the building. What, do you have ideas or have you reached out to anyone regarding what that might be in those retail spaces?
In the retail spaces, right now there's a big retail space, office type space person that wants to go in there. And we're in negotiations with them right now, so I can't really tell you that. They don't want that publicly known, but there is a big space going to be we're working on right now. And three of the other 5 spaces, we have people interested too. Basically businesses, not retail spaces. So,
No sales, not sales.
no, we were hoping to, a massage therapy type place or something like that would be ideal location for them, attached to the facility. A place like BFit or something like that would be ideal for them. I would think their foot traffic would double, but not yet, no.
Are you gonna mail flyers to people before the vote or anything going to individual households?
I don't believe so. I don't know what the S committee has planned. We can discuss that afterwards, but the city is not going to do that. No. We put everything on the website, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page, the city Facebook page. Most of the council members share that information as it comes out. We have these meetings.
I know. People at work at Ames don't really know what's going on, but if you had flyers or you took them to neighbors and stuff, try to encourage them to vote, something kind of a hand flyer of some sort.
Well, that's,
Maybe.
yeah, if you want to take a dozen of those and pass them out, feel free to do so. We can always print more.
No, okay.
Absolutely, and I have some more that we run out. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Going back to your retail space, I know you can't disclose who these businesses might be, but I think there's a lot of questions regarding a lot of empty space in some of our downtown buildings already. Are the people that are looking at these retail spaces in this building new business to Boone, or would it be people that would be closing up their old business just to come here
The two that I have talked to about it, that seem interested in it, now, there's no guarantee, they may change their mind.
Yeah.
Depending on what the rent is, but, the two that I've talked to are not on Story Street, they're off Story Street.
But it's not.
Not new business,
Not new
no.
to go.
I know one that, Greg has talked to is a new business. I know there's another new business going in one of the storefronts downtown. I saw a sign down there, and then the landlord sent me an email saying that they just rented a space to a retail business. Good question. Anything else? Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had a couple questions on, I don't want to join for an entire year because I don't want to go there in the summer. Okay? This is month to month. You do not have to do a year. We haven't discussed the fees and stuff in the committee, but there's always a possibility that we would offer some sort of discount if you do an annual membership. But you can do it month to month, or day to day for that.
Would you need to maintain a certain number of memberships in order to fund?
I'm not quite sure what that magic number is, to be exact, because I built in some contingencies based on the fact that I know starting out, our numbers aren't gonna be where we want them to be. So there's money built in for that. The old Y, when it shut, was at 950 units, they call them. And they had lost a considerable amount because it was in flux and people knew it was gonna close, so they were reluctant to even sign up. So they were dropping like flies. I based all the numbers and the financials on 650. Even that might be a little optimistic too, but starting out, but I think we'll start a membership drive early before the facility opens. So, an offer some specials.
Is that individual people or like a family unit?
A unit, it can be anything from an individual to a family, to a couple, to a single mom, single dad with kids or whatever. Similar to what the Y did. The problem with the Y is they had so big, darn many different levels of participation that it was hard to keep track. But our numbers are based on 650. Yes, sir.
Do you have any military discount ideas for that?
Oh, good idea. I don't see why we wouldn't. First responder and military. Yeah. I wouldn't see why we wouldn't do that. Good idea. I just have to have my wife remember that. No, good idea, good suggestion, absolutely. Anything else? Gosh, I kind of prepared for all these tough questions. You guys are pretty easy on me. Anything else? Yeah, yeah.
When you were talking about the, like, talking about basketball tournaments and things like that, like, I don't know, did this Y have a league? Like, I know the Y's always have them, I just don't know.
Well, the Y organized them.
Will this be like a league that they try to put on, or is it just gonna be a tournament here or there, or?
No, there'll be a Boone basketball league. We're gonna work in conjunction with some of the young coaches stepped in and went ahead with the basketball leagues and the flag football leagues and stuff like that. We're gonna partner with them. If they want to dump it back in our lap, that's fine, but if we don't want to take it if they want to, you know, but we'll partner with them. Membership and stuff like that. Soccer leagues and stuff like that. It depends when after we hire a director, they'll, you know, that's those discussions will begin. They'll have a budget they need to meet, and they'll have to design programs and stuff like that to meet those requirements.
How many employees will it take?
I think on the original list, we had 2 full-time employees and 6 part-time employees. We ran some of those numbers on there. I think it's gonna be closer to 9 part-time. I know that DMAC is interested in an internship program, facility management program. And so we're hoping to tap that resource in the EDGE program at the high school as well. And that what we would do is, in some of those cases, you actually get paid to do the habit interns. I'm not that interested in doing that with EDGE. I don't think the committee would be either, since it's the high school. So we would probably give them free memberships if they were an intern.
Like maintenance. You have to.
We have a part-time maintenance guy that will be doing that. Anything major, we're building I always forget the term, depreciation fund right from day one. We will be building a depreciation fund. So anything major that happens, that will come out of that fund. But maintenance, changing light bulbs, that type of stuff, we have a part-time guy. He's not part of that group that I told you about. Working 24 hours a week, I think. I believe that's what I had scheduled. And that's similar to what the Y did. I ran maintenance there for a while too, and I was limited to 25 hours to do maintenance. And this is a brand new building. I hope there's not a whole lot to do. Right? He has to change a battery in the top or something like that. I hope that's the extent of it for the first 3 or 4 years. Never know. The work construction long enough to know that you can put a brand new air handler in, it should last about 18 months, and don't know. Or they can last 30 years. Good question. Yes,
I
sir.
know they brought up, people keep bringing up parking all the time, so
Okay.
I'm assuming at some point the council will look at what's happening and what needs to be done.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll reevaluate that situation. Should it come to that. If the downtown businesses are experiencing difficulties with their customer parking, then we'll have to reevaluate that and think about expanding. But right now, as long as Family Video is okay with it, we have that additional 35 to 40 spots down there. And right now, they don't have anything posted, so we can probably park there. And we can reach out to them and sign some sort of agreement with them too. Yeah, parking's a big deal. Yes, sir.
Okay, first of all, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
I'm Councilman Terry Mormon, of the Fourth Ward City Council. I am also Chair of Economic Development for the city, and I head this committee.
Okay, second of all, have you considered any other place but downtown for this?
No.
Why?
Why? Because this is our flagship thing. This is where Fairway wants it. This is where the city council has decided and voted unanimously to put it, with the exception of one vote. Sorry, so it wasn't unanimous. This is our flagship, our last shot at downtown economic development and revitalization.
You can't come up with anything else for Elba downtown. It looks like a ghost town right now.
Sir, why are you against it being there?
I'm asking a question.
Well,
That's all
I'm
there is
asking
to
you,
it.
why are you against it being there?
I didn't say that. I was just
But
wondering. I didn't say that.
but
I said I was wondering why. Are you gonna let me talk or are you gonna talk? Thank you. That's very rude too. Why, I mean,
He just told you why.
sorry, because my opinion don't count. Huh?
No, your opinion counts.
Well, then tell her to keep quiet while I'm trying to talk.
Careful.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You too.
Just be respectful. That's all I got to say.
Well, it works both ways.
Okay?
Anyway.
So ask me what you want to ask.
Like I said, wouldn't it be better off somewhere else in downtown? And I'll be honest with you, I think this is the worst timing for this right now, with inflation, the expense of everything and everything that's going on. I think it's a big mistake. Now, maybe down the road a ways, it might be a different story. But as far as I'm concerned, not now.
Well, and that's fine, sir. You're certainly welcome to your opinion.
I need some lands.
Uh,
I need some lands. So.
Lance,
Yeah.
you're certainly welcome to your opinion.
Mhm.
The reason that we're doing this now is because of just that reason. If we put this off 2 or 3 years, it's never going to get built. Our bonding capacity is only $10 million per year,
Okay.
and we are at the max of that right at this minute. So we can't bond 3 years from now when the cost of this building will be $13 million or $14 million based on what you said about inflation and cost rising. So if we don't pull the trigger now, it's probably never going to happen.
Maybe it's not meant to be.
You actually started this process a year and a half or 2 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah,
But then
I got
with
on,
everything that was happening,
I got put on city council, about 28 months ago. Okay, I was elected 28 months ago. In special election and re-elected in November. And I've been working on this for about 2 years. A year before COVID and a year following this. So when we first started this process, the cost was $8.5 million, and now it's 10. 2 years later.
Everything's getting more expensive.
Right. So
Yeah.
so if we wait another 3 or 4 or 5 years or whatever the case may be, if we don't pass it now, like I said earlier on in the conversation, we won't pass this. This won't happen until 24 or 25.
And I'm honest with you, I'm totally against it, because I think it's poor timing, but like I said, with inflation and everything that's going on, now is not a good time for this.
Well, all I can tell you to do is vote on March 1st.
Yeah, that's what, and or we got a free country so far anyway.
Yeah.
So, okay, anyway, thanks for answering.
Yeah, not a problem, not a problem.
Yeah.
Just understand that we have explored every option. Since the mayor asked me to head up this committee, I have designed 4 different facilities. And you probably all know about that, right? We discussed the old Y, we discussed renovating the Dig and Go, we discussed the site out at Beckwith Center, and then now this. And all
Can
of
you
them,
explain to them where the money will be coming from? 2 million for Fairway, fundraising for
300,
2 million,
2 million,
2 million.
right?
The bond will be,
10
and that will come from,
finance, the franchise fee.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then will be like taxes, any?
No. Okay, let's go through this. That's a very good question because there's a lot of stuff floating around that's not true. Okay? This is franchise fee only. This is based on this through Alliant, right? It's 2% increase. It was 3, but because of that donation, we dropped it to 2. We're not trying to make money. We're just trying to make this happen. So we dropped it to 2%. That is on your gas and electric bill. Okay, so if you pay $300, your increase would be $6 per month. That's it. No increased property taxes. As a matter of fact, we just voted at council last meeting to lower property taxes, right? Oh. Right? Who else is here? David, right? Yeah. Yeah. We just voted to reduce your property tax. Okay?
Does that happen?
Huh?
Does that happen?
It will happen.
Yeah, well, it'll happen when our fiscal year comes up in June, July.
Your taxes are always a year behind.
Yep, I understand that. So, but it was passed.
Yeah,
Okay.
So I can see why now's the time to do it, you're gonna do it. I mean, it makes sense, it does. I mean,
yeah, this, like I said, and like Stephen said, this process started 2 years ago. We had no anticipation of COVID. We had no anticipation of the inflation rate the way it was gonna be. Nobody anticipated that. So we pulled the trigger on it based on those numbers, because we knew going forward, if we postpone this, it was never going to happen. Any other questions?
Take a look at it from a family and community standpoint as well, right? Take a look at the kids, the families. This is providing a place for those individuals to go, right?
well, if you want the city of Boone to ever grow and become better, you gotta add that. I mean,
Absolutely.
by sitting still, not doing anything, you're actually going backwards, so you've got to.
Look forward.
It's a good idea, it just costs a lot of money, which, what doesn't cost a lot of money.
And I would just add that, I've seen facilities like this in Humboldt, going,
Perry,
towns,
Jefferson.
and other towns that are smaller than Boone. So, yeah, the investment in bringing young families to Boone to live, to work and to raise their kids. I mean, I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Thank you. This is a quality of life issue. Really, that's what it boils down to. What are we providing for the people that live here? When the Y left, it left a huge void. And some people stepped in and filled some of those services and stuff. And we are trying desperately not to compete with them, because we appreciate what they did. But with that said, they can't offer what we can offer. They can't offer the amenities and the child-based services that we are going to offer. The kids in this community need a place to go. Everyone says it, they talk about it all the time. And then when we try to do something about it, people fight. And I'm not zeroing in on the lanes, I'm just saying in general. So this is our last best effort downtown. If you were at the could have been at the media event today, I got pretty emotional when I talked. Okay, because this is an emotional issue for me. This is not about this facility, this is about this community. That's what it's about. It's not about me, it's not about anybody on this community, it's about this community, plain and simple. Okay? Marcia and I moved here 35 years ago. We love Boone, this is our home. We want to see this, we want to make this work. Any other questions? Thank you for coming. The Yes Committee, we're going to end the Zoom, and the staff has to leave, but the Yes Committee will hang around. They can, he's going to give you an update on what's going on. Tony is going to do that. Greg's spending some family